Hey Peter, how are you doing?
Good, good. Fun to be in sunny and summery Berlin.
Right? I hope you enjoy
Yeah, it's like
it.
busy but good. Even we managed to leave the apartment for a moment today.
Right. So, Peter, since Sergey is very kind of a philosophical person, I have brought some philosophical questions with me. Hope you're okay with that. Obviously, all related to the movie, of course. And one is because your character, no, your character, Roman, gets told, from his superiors that he has like over succeeded his goals, which is great, of course. But then we kind of realized that this is not enough because one of them was told, of course, that he is having potentially having a relationship with another man, which would actually damage all his success. And I was wondering if you ever felt, ever had a moment in your career as an artist where you felt like that what you are giving as an artist isn't enough, even though you are like succeeding your goals.
Hmm. Interesting question. When you feel that you are not uh, giving enough as an artist, yeah, I think there's definitely moments like when writing, or even like nowadays when promoting the film. I sometimes kind of get this feeling that like I should be doing or could be doing more. But it's a very personal, subjective judgment of yourself.
Right, but it's interesting because I feel like, yeah, I mean you guys wrote like for a very long time on the script, but I can imagine that you never really feel like it's ready to be, to adapt, right?
Well, that's like I think that's toughest thing actually with editing because you could edit the movie forever. And our editor told me a case where somebody was editing their film literally on and off for 20 years. So that, yeah, that's one thing which I think is probably the toughest point. Where do you actually say, okay, now is everything is done and like I draw the line and stop? Because it's easy to kind of keep on going and thinking that you can improve, quotation marks things, whereas you actually can damage them by overthinking and overdoing.
Right, right, and of course, the longer you wait, the more changes you probably want to do, right? And then,
Well, exactly. There's an interesting thing I think about any creation that when you make it based on feeling in the moment, it's fresh and real. But if you overanalyze it and over polish it, it can actually become
yeah,
like sterile in a way. But
yeah,
sometimes a little bit of roughness is probably better than over polished.
right,
That's my
right.
feeling.
So there's also like a deep line in the movie that goes like speaking and acting, thinking and living is not the same. A lot of people are like living in their heads because for whatever reason. I was wondering if there was ever like a moment in life as a person or as an artist where you felt like you needed to break out from your safe zone.
Oh, I think that's like every day.
Right.
That's the biggest challenge. I mean, at least for me, I trust for many people that how do you how do you kind of not listen to your fears and mind and do what you feel is the thing that you want to do and is the right thing for you, because often we are so conditioned by our parents, by our schools, by the environment, by people, by our own beliefs and fears, most of all, of what we believe that we should be doing or what we can't or are afraid to do. So yeah, I think that's a daily challenge.
Right. And so Sergey, he of course has passion for capturing pictures, of course, and he says that he always wants to capture, like something that goes deeper, like the character of people and stuff. And he also speaks about, like capturing the moment that will kind of disappear afterwards. And I was wondering, since you of course are a filmmaker, do you remember like a specific moment that you are kind of glad you captured or recorded?
You mean in this specific film?
Or like in general, if there's like, or maybe from the first time you ever had a camera in your hands.
Well, yeah, that's actually my probably favorite line in the film, and I was like always saying like, let's put this out as the first teaser of the film, and everyone was like, nah, like the dark room is too like too limited, doesn't show the whole environment. But emotionally, this is my favorite line in the whole film. This moment in the dark room, developing photos. I think from our film. The moment when Sergei lies in the forest on the moss looking at trees is my favorite visual moment. And that moment came into life also totally spontaneously. It was not in the script, it was not planned. And we were just preparing to shoot the next scene when they are picking blueberries and some other things happen in the film without spoiling it for the audience.
Yeah.
And in the forest, you prepare things and things get ready really fast. So obviously, we had budgeted, I think, 2 hours of setup time, and in half an hour, everything was set up and ready. But the light was not there yet, the sun. And so I was just taking a little rest on the moss and lying down myself and looking up. And I was like, wow, this is so beautiful how the trees are moving. And then was like, oh, let's shoot this. Because we had time, and then Tom improvised, what he was feeling. This look, they are dancing with each other, lying, and for me, it came out as like one of the most beautiful moments of the film again.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. And I was wondering, because like Roman and Sergei have like a conversation in the car, and Sergei kind of tells Roman that whenever he was in theater with his best friend, he never wanted theater to end. I was wondering if you do remember, something specific you wish would have never ended.
The recording of our score in Prague. I think in general, working with our composer was a magical experience of really creating together and having this amazingly brilliant person actually with so little of an ego in the team. And then just being there for one day, we recorded the whole score with a live symphony orchestra in one day, and listening to the music and seeing it all, kind of hearing it all come together was definitely like, wow, like wish that experience would last.
Yeah. And I love that there's like so many quotes from Shakespeare, and like just so many dialogues that make you think actually, and ask yourself questions. And there's a scene, a moment where we see Sergei kind of repeating like the famous phrase, "Be or not to be." I was wondering, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about that line?
No, it's such a famous line. I mean, again, in that context, I think, trying to think not to give anything away for the audience. I haven't seen the film yet. It's, for me, it's, in that context, it's not about existential thoughts like in Hamlet, but it's about heartache and broken hearts. And it's almost like asking the question, was I totally wrong and just dreaming? Is this for real or not?
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's kind of the feeling that comes to mind. But of course, in Hamlet, it has a totally different connotation. Right. But also kind of similar.
But everyone might like see something else in it, right?
Yeah, some people have asked also like that it's an identity question, like, am I or am I not? But I look at it more like in a feeling question, because I think in the 1970s, people were not labeling themselves anyways.
I have one final question for you, Peter, because there's also like talk about lies, and like Sergei goes like, if you you know, you just allow, you just believe a lie. If you, you know, like allow yourself to believe it, it becomes the truth. That's what you think. And I was wondering, because he also says that if you start to believe lies, you start to don't see the truth anymore. I'm just wondering, in your life as a person, as an artist, how do you make sure you don't allow lies to become a fake truth?
I guess you just have to, well, myself and especially you have to be very aware of one's actions and words, and that's tough because essentially it's easy to kind of fall into an old pattern and react, or let's say again follow, you know, the way that mind works. But I think it's being aware and catching and like, oh, okay, like here I went again with some common belief or my old belief without actually like speaking my truth. Because sometimes we think like, oh, well, it's like going to hurt somebody telling the truth, or like there's a lot of judgment around it. And I think I have also lately sometimes felt like people get offended if I tell my truth. But I think it's better to have somebody offended because I think in the long term, everybody wins from it.
Absolutely. 100% agree with you on that. For sure. Peter, seriously, thank you so much for your time today, for sharing your stories, your thoughts with me. All the best, of course, with the movie, and please enjoy Berlin.
Thank you. And thank you for taking time to talk about our movie. So it's,
of course,
it's amazing for us. We made a commitment to Sergei to share his story, and it's amazing to really be able to bring it to so many countries around the world. And now, like Germany.
So beautiful. It's been a huge journey already for you guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Peter.